This is Between the Lines, presented by Continental Diamond. My name is Gabe Henderson. That's Ben Leber. Ben, the Vikings lose 20-17 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. When you look at the stat line, the only thing you need to see is 3 turnovers for the Minnesota Vikings offense. What do you make of this Minnesota Vikings offense today?
I mean, that's what it comes down to in most games, is who wins the turnover battle. And, not only did we give the ball away 3 times in the first half, it's where we gave the ball away. They recover on our 25-yard line, us going in. And, again, the KJ Osborne interception right there at the goal line. So you're taking, points off the board in those situations. It's also the fact that as much as our defense played really well, you got to try to take the ball away as well. So if you're going to give away 3, you got to get at least 1 back, and we didn't do that.
Before we talk defense, I want to talk about Alexander Mattison. This was the first time in 7 years this Minnesota Vikings team has started a running back not named Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
When you look at Alexander Madison's play today, what stood out to you?
Just tough runner. I mean, we always knew he was a tough runner. He's rarely does he go down on first contact with one individual, and he showed that again today. I actually thought, his stats are not going to blow you away, especially in the first half, but I thought there were a couple runs there where, there was no hole. He'd run into the back of somebody trying to get something, and he'd just keep churning his legs and fall forward for 3 or 4 yards. That's exactly what they were looking for when they talked about him in the offseason and give him that contract to say, hey, you're going to be our number 1 running back, is just fall forward, get those tough yards. I don't think their offensive line, now granted, it's a good front 7.
Yeah.
Our offensive line did not do a good job opening up some of those holes. And then, that little touchdown reception that he had, that was all toughness. That was all heart. That was all just big, strong legs.
Yeah, big, strong legs, especially just receiving the ball. You want to see a running back be able to catch the ball out of the backfield, especially when this opposing defense holds our best receiver to 11 yards in the second half. Justin Jefferson, over 100 yards in the first half, not the performance we wanted in the second half. What do you think went wrong for this Minnesota Vikings passing offense?
Well, I really think that we got a little bit predictable after the first half. We did a really good job of using our pre-snap motions, on the play action, and it just basically became max protection, where you're putting a body on a body for all that would be blitzers. Tampa brought a lot of early blitz on early downs, and we saw that, we recognized that. We were able to find some soft spots in their zones because they didn't have enough guys in coverage. They didn't do that as much in the second half, and so they guessed a little bit more right than we did, and kind of had us on our heels when it comes to play calling.
Speaking of that flexibility, that versatility, we saw a lot on offense. 2 tight end sets, 3 tight end sets, but defensively we saw the same thing.
Yeah.
4 safeties, 4 cornerbacks, just so many different looks. What does that do for opposing offense when your defense has that many looks that you're throwing at a quarterback?
Well, I mean, I'll take it a step further. I was surprised, and we were talking during the game that, Harrison Smith, a guy that never comes off the field, he gets rotated in and out, not because he's injured, but because they're just given different safety looks. And so if you're an offense and you're looking at, well, Harrison Smith, he's the catalyst to this defense. He's the trigger to a lot of these disguises and blitzes. If he's not in the game, then who do you pinpoint as the guy that's going to trigger this defense? Yeah. And I think just that little changeup of personnel confuses the offense a little bit, and it gives him a chance to rest on the sideline. I thought the defense did a phenomenal job with the rotation at the defensive front, which always happens because you want to keep those guys fresh. But also we rotated linebackers. Troy Dye got in there a little bit on some actual game snaps. Ivan Pace, who got a lot of reps as well. We knew that was going to happen, but for a young rookie to come in and handle those big moments, I thought he played really well. And then again, you get all those different safeties in there in different looks. I thought overall the defense played fantastic.
Being a former linebacker, when you're getting switched out like that so many times, what does that do for your rhythm?
It's a good question, because I was often the guy that was coming off on third down and passing down, so I was constantly just yo-yoing back and forth, and I'd jog off the side of the field no, stay back, okay, jog back on the field. It does throw off your rhythm because like a good pass rusher, they want to set up things, you want to feel things, and then when you're in there all 3 downs, it does get you kind of in that mode where you're feeling the game a little bit more as opposed to thinking about the game. So it does take some adjustment.
Ben, what the great thing about this loss is that we only have the Philadelphia Eagles in 4 days. As a former player who's been on short weeks, how quickly do you turn your mindset from, okay, we got to get ready for this next team?
Well, you have to. I mean, the way that the guys are trained, it is that 24-hour cycle. You have to just, the best that you can. It's not easy. I'm not going to say it's easy, but, you get paid to do that. So you better find a way to fix the things that you did wrong, find a plan for a short week and how you're going to fix those in practice. But the thing that I saw offensively that I thought was a big bonus is we lose Garrett Bradbury.
Yeah.
And Austin Schlottman comes in at the center position early in this game. We didn't give up a lot of penetration in the middle of this offensive line. That was a big key for success for our offense, is not give up that inside penetration right in Kirk's feet in his lap. So I thought they did a good job there. We're going to face probably the most dominant front seven in all of football coming up on Thursday. Yep. This was a good win for us when it comes to how we protected up front. So I'm looking forward to what they're going to do on Thursday night. I think we're going to handle our own.
Handling our own is the number one goal as we head to Philadelphia Eagles to play the defending NFC champions. For Ben Leber, my name is Gabe Henderson. This was Between the Lines, fueled by Continental Diamond.